Imagine being 20 years old, 7 feet 4, and already carrying the weight of an entire NBA franchise on your shoulders. That's Victor Wembanyama. And last year, things nearly went off the rails. A blood clot scare made him wonder if his career was about to end before it truly began. But instead of letting fear define him, Wemby took a completely different path. He went halfway across the world to a Shaolin Kung Fu Monastery in China. Picture this: a 7-foot basketball phenom living with monks, practicing 1,000 kicks a day, meditating and training his mind as much as his body. It sounds like a movie script, but for Wemby, it was survival and evolution. And here's where it gets crazy. Wembanyama isn't the first 7-footer to lean into martial arts. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar trained with Bruce Lee back in the 70s and even appeared in one of his films. But here's the twist. Kareem didn't come back to the NBA with the chance to rewrite basketball itself. Wembanyama does, because this season, for the first time, he has a supporting cast that could either unlock his potential or implode in spectacular fashion. The San Antonio Spurs went all in. They traded for De'Aaron Fox, one of the fastest and most explosive guards in the league. Then they added Stephon Castle, a guard who looks destined to win Rookie of the Year. And just when you thought that was enough, they used their lottery luck to draft Dylan Harper, another ball-dominant guard who was widely considered the second-best player in his class. So now, the Spurs have 3 guards who do almost the same thing: attack the rim, score off the dribble, and struggle from 3. None of them are elite shooters. In 2025, that's a red flag. So why stack the roster this way? Well, here's the truth. The Spurs didn't plan for this exact lineup. They got lucky. With only a 6% chance of landing the number 2 pick, Harper fell into their lap. And when talent that good is available, you don't overthink it. You grab him. But they didn't just keep Fox for depth. They doubled down, maxing him out for $229 million. That's not an accident. That's commitment. On the surface, it looks messy. Too many ball handlers, not enough shooting. But Wemby changes everything. He isn't a typical big man. His offseason wasn't just kung fu. He trained high-intensity cardio, blended with mental decision-making drills, even chess under exhaustion. That's not basketball training. That's building a supercomputer in a 7'4" frame. Defensively, the numbers already put him in rare company. Only Wembanyama and Manute Bol have ever logged multiple seasons with a 10% block rate while playing heavy minutes. That means, simply put, he erases shots like nobody else. And the wild part? He makes impossible plays look routine. Remember when he blocked a jumper without even leaving his feet? That should have been on posters everywhere. But with Wemby, it was just another Tuesday. And then there's the offense. Early last season, critics groaned every time he launched a 3. The mechanics were there, but the shots weren't falling. He looked out of place, forcing deep jumpers instead of dominating inside. But by mid-season, something clicked. Suddenly those 3s were dropping from Curry range. He went from stop shooting to breaking records. 20 points, 15 rebounds, 5 blocks, and 5 3s in a single game. Nobody had ever done that before. So if Fox, Castle, and Harper can't space the floor, Wemby might. That flips the traditional blueprint on its head. For decades, NBA coaches built around bigs the same way. Surround them with shooters, pair them with a playmaking guard, and dominate inside. Think Shaq and Kobe, Hakeem and Clyde, Tim Duncan and Tony Parker. But Wemby isn't tied to the paint. He can anchor a defense like Mutombo, stretch the floor like Dirk, and still handle the ball in transition. That means the so-called 3-guard problem might not be a problem at all. Instead of being clogged, the Spurs could end up unlocking one of the fastest, most versatile lineups in the league. The key wildcard? Dylan Harper. He's not used to standing in the corner waiting for kickouts. He's used to controlling the offense, bullying smaller defenders, and making plays on his own. If he adapts, cutting, crashing the boards, finding shots off the ball, San Antonio's offense could be terrifying. But if he doesn't, it could gum everything up. And that's why the Spurs might be the biggest wild card in the West. At their best, they could push for a top 4 seed, sitting right behind Denver, OKC, and Houston. At their worst, they could miss the playoffs altogether. It all depends on how quickly the pieces fit. But let's not lose sight of the real story. Wembanyama isn't just getting better. He's getting better in ways we've never seen before. His shooting range is growing. His conditioning is otherworldly. His defense is already generational. If he stays healthy, he doesn't just enter the MVP conversation, he rewrites it. Think about this. A player who can guard the rim like a center, score like a wing, and move like a guard, all while being the tallest guy on the court. That's not a blueprint. That's a glitch. And for the Spurs, that glitch might just turn into a championship window sooner than anyone expected. So yeah, the roster looks strange. Yeah, the fit isn't perfect. But sometimes the NBA's greatest teams weren't built on perfection. They were built on chaos, luck, and one generational superstar who bent the game to his will. Victor Wembanyama might be that superstar. And if he is, the question isn't whether the Spurs made the right moves this offseason. The question is whether the rest of the league is ready for what comes next. Because this isn't just about a new season. It's about the birth of something basketball has never seen before. So what do you think? Are the Spurs building the next dynasty, or a disaster waiting to happen? One thing's certain, Victor Wembanyama isn't just the future of basketball. He might be its evolution.